Tuesday, December 31st. It's the final day of the year. If you are in the not retail trader and you made more than 9% trading this year, congratulations. If you are in the retail traders and you made on average 9%, let's try and help you a little bit. Let's guide you towards maybe where you made mistakes. The first mistake you're probably making is you're probably not journaling your trades. And so journaling your trades helps you understand where you made mistakes. It helps you identify your own risk tolerance. It helps you identify your strategy. It helps you identify where it's working and where it's not working. So your first thing is to journal your trades. Now, I love to see the 4-hour algorithm. Trendspider right now, we have reported it. It is not showing up with entries and exits like it normally does on the charts, but it will. I've alerted them. They've said, hey, we're going to check with our dev team. Other people have reported it, so it should by this afternoon show the entries and exits. We're going to do the show anyway because we trudge on. Now, will I trade without it? Probably not. I feel naked without this stuff. I mean, you know, my little Willie, it's cold here in Atlanta. It's not showing. It's not showing. You know, it's like a frightened turtle. But I feel a little bit uneasy about trading. By the way, just so you're aware, tomorrow the markets are closed, and on January 9th, the markets are closed. So we have 2 weeks in a row where you have a day where you're not trading, you're not doing anything. So my guidance, get organized. I will use those days. I will use tomorrow. I will use that just like I do on the weekends, which is creating watch lists in Seeking Alpha, creating watch lists and doing new scanners in Trendspider. I will be doing all of those things. How did we wind up yesterday? I mean, you know, we had a good morning candle, which was period up 2.73%. And then you pulled back a little bit in the afternoon. So, you know, the Mag 7 was not good yesterday. If we look at the market data from yesterday, we were down 1.14%, down almost 1% on the Dow, and the NASDAQ 100 down 1.33%. It just wasn't a great day. I mean, we haven't had a good 5 days. We haven't had a good 1 month. But year to date, it looks really good. So I hope you're at least in the market, because being in the market is very good. If you're out of the market or you trade in and out of the market, go and track your performance over a year, because more than likely trading in and out of the market, either you've killed it and you're very lucky, and if you can continue that for 4 or 5 years, you're fantastic. You're one of the very few. If you can't continue it for years upon years upon years, just make sure you're moving things into VOO and QQQ. Those are the two best ETFs that I've found to just stay in the market. And do you want bonds? Hell no. I don't like bonds. They haven't worked for me. I don't want safety. Do you want them? That's all about your own risk tolerance. But yesterday, I don't think we're seeing anything more than just people are on vacation. There were 400 million shares traded in the New York Stock Exchange yesterday. Normal days, it's around 700 million. So it's not about people selling. It's that the buyers aren't there. And it's not like they're not going to show up on January 2nd. They are going to show up on January 2nd. I expect a bumpy ride. I expect this. You know, we're so up so much this year. Even the Santa Claus rally, I didn't expect a huge Santa Claus rally. It's usually 1 or 2% in the market. And yes, you can pick out certain stocks, and we'll go over those. But again, you know, yesterday, by the way, if you watch Trendspider's YouTube channel, I think they put it out. Let's see. Let's go Trendspider. I think they may have put it out. It was a great, yes, stocks ready to explode in 2025. This was 32 minutes of absolute genius from Jason. Okay, absolute genius from Jason. He shows you how to use Trendspider. He shows you everything that you need to know about making sure that you're in this market and that you have the stocks technically to be able to look at it. And he even got a question yesterday about a fundamental thing about I think it was cash margin, free cash flow, and he admittedly said, "I know nothing about fundamentals." So, you know, again, I use both fundamentals and and technicals. But if the guy like Jason doesn't use it, then don't use it. He goes over this, which probably in the new year will find a home on my charts. It's a relative performance indicator. Identify market leaders and laggards. It is an amazing, it sits down there with the RSI, it sits down there with the MACD like you see it, and this goes over everything that you need to see. Okay, and you can do it against the S&P 500. You can do it against yearly, 4-quarter weighted. There are a lot of settings that you can go over in this special indicator. And you can see, is it leading the market? Is it trailing the market? Is it a leader or a laggard? And when does it actually lag? And does it have pops? That's what this relative performance indicator does. And it's exclusive to Trendspider. It is amazing. And again, these are the things that Trendspider brings you. And what did Jason do yesterday? He gave you 2 brand new scanners. Okay. And if you look down here, the scanning criteria, that is the scanner that he built. There is no way I would be able to build this on my own. Jason goes over it in that video about everything. And he finds, and we're going to go over them right now. We're going to go over several of the stocks that he goes over, but he gave you an emerging leaders for the NASDAQ composite, and he gave you an emerging leaders for the Russell. Okay, those 2. And so I will include them in the newsletter if you want to import them into your setup. And the newsletter, by the way, everything, right? I got a question yesterday from somebody. Where do I go to sign up for Trendspider? Where do I go to sign up for the newsletter? Literally on the screen below my head is linktr.ee/daily stock pick. It is all there. You can get the holiday special for Trendspider. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can sign up for Seeking Alpha. Trendspider, though, is having their New Year's sale. It is over in 15 hours. And if you listen regularly, you know I steer you towards the advanced, because then setting up your relative strength indicator, you can go and take a one-on-one course and just say to the person, hey, explain the relative strength indicator to me. And you can say, hey, Apple, let's take a look at Apple. And they can take a look at the relative strength indicator with you. They can't give financial advice. So expect that response if you're going to say, should I buy it here? No, they can't give financial advice. Nobody's going to give you a course. And if they do, be wary of them, because rule number 1 here is don't listen to a douche on the internet. So again, I steer you towards the advanced, because if you take 1 course a month, okay, it's $938. So if it's within your budget, a year, if you have $100,000, that's 1%. Okay, that's 1%. Do you think you could take 1% and improve yourself with these charts, with these indicators? I think you could, but that's up to you. But here's the killer. If it's $938, okay, for the year, and you take 1 course per month, that's $78 for that course. Okay, I know language, say you're trying to learn a new language. If you go and take a lesson from a tutor once a month, that's at least $50, $60. My girlfriend does piano teaching. That's like $70 for per lesson. So again, $78 for the tool and 1 lesson a month. That's a deal. That's an absolute steal to me, to be able to learn how to use the tool, to be able to go into more depth than I go into. I have literally the RSI, the MACD, some moving averages up here with volume, and that's what I use. And I use my 4-hour algorithm. And by the way, when you sign up for Trendspider, you get my 4-hour algorithm. You get everything that I use. That's the benefit of signing up through me, is that, boom, you get the leg up first. Okay, and they can help you with, okay, what does this strategy do? What does it look for? And they can help you understand how I built that 4-hour algorithm. But again, if you are already a Trendspider subscriber, get to the newsletter, because I will have these in today's newsletter. Okay, one of the things that Jason talked about when he went into the emerging leaders was a stock in the quantum computing space. And again, it's 38 minutes. I would urge you to go watch that video. But one of them that he brought up is SkyT. Okay, and so in my world, I don't necessarily just look at the chart, but you can see how it broke out here. And Jason does a much better, if you had done his scanner 4 days ago or 5 days ago, you might have found this one at the $11 mark where it pumped up here to about $19. Okay, you might have found that. This is a 4-hour chart. We can go back and look at a 65-minute chart. You can look at whatever chart that you want. But again, his scanner might have found this for you. It is a quantum stock like Rigetti, RGTI, like Qubit, QBTS, all of those that popped. But this one hasn't popped. If you go and look at a weekly on this one hasn't, it's popped up a little bit, but you're still seeing all-time highs in here at 20 and 30. Now, let's go over, again, this article goes over Rigetti, D-Wave lead quantum stocks lower on Monday as the year draws to a close. It was just profit taking, and people are taking profits. But let's go look at SkyT because we include fundamentals. I don't necessarily just use technicals like Jason does. I want the fundamentals. Well, what does Seeking Alpha tell us? It says it's a strong buy in the quant. Now, understand, this is a $684 million market cap. This is a very small cap stock. And the 50-week range is between $5.63 and $19. Okay? The valuation is a C. The growth, B. Profitability, C+. Momentum, A+. Revisions, A. But Wall Street says it's a buy. Let's look at the Wall Street price target. Because the Wall Street price target, there are 4 analysts that cover this. Only 4. And they say the average, and I did just complain to Seeking Alpha about this issue. And I believe it's this pop-up, those damn pop-ups. Now, the average price target is $11.88. You're trading at $14. Okay, it's up 0.35 in the pre-market. It's number 6 of 36. So when you go through this, what's the number 1? It's RGTI. It's Credo. This is another one that Jason found up. Okay? So again, you can use both of these tools to benefit you in trying to find some of these hot stocks. And you can see the top semiconductor stocks, Rigetti, Kratos, SQNS, Taiwan Semi, SITIMA, all of these things. All of these things are good. One other one that Jason brought up, Credo, CRDO, we just saw it. Okay, Credo Technology Group. Look at that weekly chart. Look at this 4-hour chart. It's again, it's emerging leaders, and he uses that relative strength indicator to try and tell you, hey, this one's leading, it's lagging compared to its competitors, and it might be due for a pop. You know what else showed up there? SOUN. We've been covering this one. I've been saying, hey, they actually have customers. And when they actually had customers here at the beginning of December, it was around 10. It's at $22 right now. Okay, that's one that he brought up. PDYN. The move has already happened in the last 4 days, but it's simply run. Again, PLYA was his last one. So get the special for the new year. Again, all of this stuff, you literally click on that import. And Jason and Trendspider has said, for the new year, we're going to focus on setting up scanners. We're going to focus on setting up watch lists. We're going to focus on helping people use this tool. So it's not just you sitting in your basement using, whatever, but you can also go on YouTube and find strategies and then build them in Trendspider yourself and then share them on the Discord, share them with my group in the Facebook group, share them however you want. Or, if you have a strategy that works, I'd urge you, share it. My 4-hour algorithm works. I share it with everybody that's signed up. It's built in Trendspider, so you need Trendspider in order to get it. I share it. When somebody who's already signed up for Trendspider, emails me, I just move them under my plan. I don't get paid for it. I get paid when you renew, but I don't get paid for it right there if you've already signed up. So again, I'm sharing that. I would urge you to share it and use these tools. Just so you know, Seeking Alpha, there are 2 portions of Seeking Alpha. There is premium and there's alpha picks. The premium portion is what I'm going to go over with the virtual analyst report, with the quant, with the Wall Street price target, with all of that information. That's premium. You get it for thousands and thousands of stocks. The virtual analyst report shows up overnight. It's like having a group of freaking analysts that are working for you while you're sleeping. That's what the virtual analyst reports are for, and that comes with premium. And then Alpha Picks is just a curated, data-driven portfolio that beats the S&P and has had phenomenal performance. Okay, the bundle deal is great. You save $159. Again, where do you get it? You get it on Linktree. It's that second link. If you just want the virtual analyst reports and stuff like that, get this $30 off coupon and start your free 7-day trial. That's it. Now, if you just want Alpha Picks, don't even want to think about it, and you want to beat the S&P, and if you didn't beat the S&P, I would urge you, get Alpha Picks, because you get to identify. They basically give you a 4 or 5 page summary of why they picked a stock and when. And they tell you when to buy. It's on the 1st and the 15th of each month, and they tell you when to sell. We did have a sell yesterday. Go and take a look at it. I personally did not buy this stock. When they told me, when I bought the entire portfolio, I skipped this one. Personal reasons. I don't like the company. I used to work for the company. I don't like the company. So I skipped this one, but I got the alert to sell. If I had the entire portfolio, I would have sold. Now, I think there's only 2 stocks that I didn't buy. And it was personal reasons. It wasn't because I didn't like the stock. I didn't make any judgments about the stock. I just didn't like the company. And it was, again, personal reasons. But if you want Alpha Picks, you can get Alpha Picks. 164% versus 57% on the S&P. Come on. That's really good. NVIDIA and IBIT. So we saw a nice little bounce yesterday in NVIDIA. I think it ended the day kind of flat, but if you look at the 5-minute chart of NVIDIA yesterday, it was pretty good. I mean, this is, this starts out at 136 and it gets up to 140. That was pretty good. It's softening now. And you're seeing that opening candle. You're seeing it. I would urge anybody, and I know my parents just texted me last night, can we buy more NVIDIA? And guess who's speaking? Guess who is the conference keynote speaker at CES coming up next week? You guessed it, Jensen Huang. It's the CEO of NVIDIA. If you don't think that they're going to have a huge presence at that show with all of the AI crap, with their own personal computer that they're going to start selling, does it change the game? No. I think, there was a new AI released yesterday that is smarter, that's been trained on the old H800 chips, and the Chinese are showing, hey, but then when you ask it, who are you? It says I'm OpenAI. So I think they trained it on OpenAI. I think they hacked stuff. So I do think that NVIDIA is a great buy under 140. You can see where did I get 140? Well, when you go to this right here, there's a weekly chart on NVIDIA, and you can see where is it hovering around? It's 140. It's putting that top in there. So if you just buy it below, I think we continue this trend up. Now you can see the MACD on the weekly is resetting. The RSI is at 57. I think you want this stock in your portfolio. It's one of 2 chips that I own. I think I own 2 chips. I own NVIDIA. Just FYI, I own NVIDIA. I don't know what the other one is, but that shouldn't make a determination in your thing. My goal is to tell you that I think this one is good. It's setting up there. Is it a perfect? You can see on declining volume, we're just sitting there. When the volume actually picks up, I think it's like this back in 2020. Where you just sat there at 130, because this was a 10-for-1 split. You sat there at 130, and then you moved up all the way into 2021, and then you had supply chain, and you just had a glut of chips. And then all of a sudden, 2022 comes around, and you're trading at $11. And by the end of 2022, you are you're at about 16. And you just continued up, and we're just taking it. This, when you climb stairs don't always go straight up. Sometimes you have a platform, and that's what it's setting up. It's setting up that platform. Now, IBIT is another one in the core portfolio, and Bitcoin may have seen a bounce. Right now, IBIT is, it's up 1.61%. Look at this one on the 4-hour. The MACD on IBIT is down below the oscillator. The RSI is at 46. It's oversold. Do I know what this is going to do next week? No. Do I know what this is going to do next year? No. I believe that Bitcoin is going to be a major player, and IBIT doesn't have a lot of history, but it just goes by Bitcoin. And guess what we got to buy on? We got to buy on the 4-hour algorithm. In Bitcoin, I'm looking for the little tilde up. BTC upper tilde, whatever it is, USD, and you do the Coinbase one, and you can track Bitcoin here in Trendspider. And you can see it. And again, if the 4-hour algorithm entry and exits were working, it would show you we just got an entry in it today. So it's below the 200-day. The MACD, the 50-day is below the 200-day. You haven't seen this for quite a while. I mean, let's go back. It didn't even get here in October. If you go and look at a weekly of this one, of Bitcoin, remember, this trades 24 hours. So this chart is 24 hours right there. I don't know why. Oh, 150,000. It's just my prediction for next year. Just my prediction. But again, on the weekly, you're seeing it's a bit stretched. It could go down. Now, there's talk of a major snowstorm coming here to the southeast. U.S. natural gas surges by most in more than 2 years. Now, how do you play this? Well, I always tell people I like playing the triple leveraged ETFs, and Boyle is one. Okay, Boyle is one, but if you go to the weekly, this is the problem with some of these ETFs. Let's see. We're going to remove all text annotations. I just don't want that there. You can see the trend line right here, and we've kind of held it a little bit. So if you buy this one up here, you can do KOLD, Boyle and KOLD. Natural gas is going up because of this cold spell news. And so you can trade these against themselves. It's triple leveraged ETF. Boyle was up like 15% yesterday. And it's because, again, natural gas surges by most in more than 2 years on cold weather forecasts. And it's trades on the futures. You can trade those too. That's how I do it. If you want to just buy natural gas, EQT. Okay, EQT and Coterra Energy, CTRA, are Monday's two biggest winners in the S&P leaderboard in early trading, 3.3%. This was up based on that. Now, Comstock Resources, 6.1. Again, go and read that if you want access. I just use Boyle and KOLD, and I get in and out of those. So that's typically what I do. Now, this was interesting. So I always look for Twitter and for YouTube for strategies. And this was a post, Market Rebellion, how I made $2 million in the stock market. They don't notate anything. They don't do anything. So I went and asked Grok, can you analyze this for me? And this is from Nicholas Darvos, a Hungarian dancer turned investor. Is referenced for his trading strategy, the Darvos box theory, which he detailed in the 1960 book, How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. The theory uses price and volume indicators to identify profitable stocks. Again, he was using price and volume indicators. That's it. In 1960. You didn't have computers in 1960. So he's probably drawing this on fucking graph paper and stuff. Again, he turned to how he made $2 million in the stock market. And in 1960 terms, that's like making, $40 billion today based on inflation. You know, what a candy bar cost 25 cents back then. So I thought that was interesting. I think Grok and I think Twitter are actually taking on Meta with some of the best AI uses and integrating it. Google's going to have to step up their game. So I thought that was super, super impressive. Now let's talk about Tesla, because I'm going to move this one over here. We're going to talk about Gene Munster first. So his thoughts on December deliveries, Tesla. They will report Thursday morning, I think is when they said they will. It's likely Thursday morning. We don't exactly know when, the exact time. The consensus estimate is 506,000. The whisper number is approximately 500,000. So here's the deal. And he put, you can go and read this. He believes it's going to be a good year for Tesla. We'll go and look at the chart a little bit. But I did get an email from a friend last night who works at the Tesla Delivery Center in Orlando. Today is a record day for deliveries for them. Just FYI. I mean, that's not insider trading. That's not any insider knowledge. Today in Orlando, I mean, that may not move the deal, the needle, but Tesla could be setting up for a record 2025 or record-setting deliveries report. So if they do it, you could see Tesla pop. And let's go and look at Tesla. Again, Tesla's in the core portfolio. It's down a little bit here in the open market. And I've said this. I think this 414 provides some support for that stock. You can see the MACD is reset. If we go and we look at the weekly, it's still extended. So do I want to buy in when the RSI and the weekly is at 71? I prefer not to. But if you want to buy it, I think you could. We're good on Tesla. I do own a small portion of Tesla. I will probably buy a little bit more, and I do own a lot of XLY. That's for anybody that thinks that I own Tesla outright. I don't. I own far more XLY than Tesla. Tesla's in my Webull account. And if you want Webull, again, go over to Linktree. Set yourself up with $1,000 in Webull and just start trading at wazoo. Start trading like crazy. I mean, you know, again, if you only have $25,000, don't do this. Don't do this. But if you got a couple $100,000 in your pocket, put $1,000 into Webull. Okay, sign up right there. You get free stocks when you sign up, and just start trading. I turned $1,000 into $11,000 over the past couple of years. Would I trade my large account like that? Hell no, I wouldn't. But again, MicroStrategy is one. This is a great explanation of MicroStrategy. Okay, MicroStrategy is known as the most popular levered Bitcoin play of the year. Meanwhile, over the last month, Bitcoin has gained 2%, while MicroStrategy is currently down 50%. What's happening? Let's explain. And they go through it. It is a great explanation of MicroStrategy. And are we looking to buy MicroStrategy? Right now, you're out. MicroStrategy in the 4-hour algorithm is out. It is up 2% today. But you're seeing, look at that gap. That gap goes down to 274. Have we filled that gap? No. Will you fill that gap? I like to think that gaps get filled. Gaps are like old men at the pool with their old man shorts. When they spread their legs, you're going to see the gap, and it's got to get filled because you'll throw up if it stays open. So there you go, 274. I think that's going to be. Am I buying and selling based on the 4-hour algorithm? Yes. It's my strategy. Why? You can see it right here. Look at the bottom of your screen, right above the black line right there. There's a performance chart, okay? And in Trendspider, it gives you all the performance. You make 2,113%. Versus buying and holding makes you 1,769%. How long does this go? Well, it goes back 24 months. And if I trade 24 months, you're saying, well, Gary, I have a regular job. I don't want to trade that much. It's 22 effing positions. 22. You win 45% of the time. Your average win is 63%. So do I want to take the trade when it tells me? Absolutely, I want to take the trade. And guess what? The effort's buying more. They added another 2,138 Bitcoins to the balance sheet. They're buying more. So he's leveraging it. Go and read about why it's down 50% while Bitcoin is not down as much. And there's a leveraged strategy on Bitcoin. Now, my strategy is, by the way, I am just buying IBIT, and I'm buying and holding IBIT to have exposure to Bitcoin. You know, my girlfriend last night was doing something with a coin tracker. And she's like, well, what does this mean? I have no freaking idea. What do? I don't own Bitcoin. I own IBIT, and I will trade MicroStrategy. That is my thing. And by the way, when MicroStrategy goes crazy and I see that it's actually moving, I will buy a double leveraged MicroStrategy ETF, MSTX. That's what I did in November when it was on its way up. I made a killing off of these two. An absolute killing. You want to know why I'm up at 11,000 in Webull? Is because of this. That's it. So again, that's my strategy. Find a strategy that works for you. Now, I will tell you this one right here. Bill Ackman says common stocks of GSEs offer a large asymmetrical upside. I use ChatGPT to try and tell me what this says. I had no idea what this says. I said, I am 14 years old. I'm new to investing. Please explain to me what this article says. And it did. I just did. You know, again, if you don't understand what you're reading, now I have traded FNMA. This is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Trump has said he wants to get them out of the government's hand and back into the private sector, back into the stock market. So Bill Ackman is essentially saying these are great tools. Now, you don't know what's going to happen. They could say, hey, we're just going to issue new shares, not these others. And it could go back, you know, but it was up 36% yesterday. So it may provide a trading opportunity. I did not find that 36% in the chart in Trendspider. I don't see it. But again, I don't know if the data is corrupted in Trendspider based on the NASDAQ type stuff, but I just don't see it. I will warn you about that. Now, if you're an OG listener, you know FFIE. This is one that we traded for quite a bit. It was a nice trading setup. Well, I thought they were going bankrupt, to be honest with you. When you look at even a weekly chart of this, I mean, it looks like they're going bankrupt. I mean, it really, really does. Look at this, okay? December 26th, last week. You're trading at $1.30. Where are you right now? $4.01. Okay? It is on a tear. Go to a 5-minute chart, and you can see the gap up here. Why? Because they're showing a freaking car at CES. They're not making money. It's a prototype car. That's it. So it's not like this has changed. Okay? Nothing about this stock has changed, but it gets some pump. Again, the volume, 40 million shares traded last week. It's got $142 million market cap. And when you go to financials, they are not making money. They are just not making money. There's nothing about this company that I would say, oh my God, I'm going to invest in this one. I'm going to buy and hold. And again, Seeking Alpha, please fix your Safari stuff. I think it's got to do with the pop-up, because every time it's this damn pop-up. But the financials, see, they have no revenues, 0.5, but their operating expense, $66 million. So they're not making any money. That's a problem. And that's not one you want to invest in my opinion. That is one that you want to trade. But it's good. I mentioned this. Let's see. Yeah. And Jensen's doing the keynote. That was my note in my notes. Webush, 25 top 10 stock winners for 2025. Microsoft, NVIDIA, Palantir, Google, Apple, MongoDB, Pegasus Systems, Snowflake, Salesforce. Again, that's a pretty good list. Yeah, pick your winners. I've got a ton of Microsoft. I am buying more NVIDIA. I don't own Palantir because I just think it's crazy. I do own Tesla. I know a ton of Google. Apple is still 40 to 50% of my overall portfolio. MongoDB, I don't own. I will trade Snowflake. I've got a little bit of Snowflake. I trade it. Salesforce, I do own in my Roth. So it's just, again, find your strategy. And if AI is your strategy, I do think, Dan Ives says with what Trump in the White House and FTC chair Lena Khan, the days behind him, stronger AI being on the way, and Goldilocks Foundation for big tech and Tesla looking into 2025 and beyond. That's what he says. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure this out. I do think that we're still in an AI territory. Now, maybe dividends is your strategy. Maybe you're, Walter, sitting in your rocking chair and you need some income because you're 85 years old and you need some doctor's bills that you have to pay. Well, here's some dividend stuff. And what does this do? This integrates the Seeking Alpha Quant system. 10 dividend stocks with a 2% yield and a buy or strong buy rating in the Quant system. 10 of them. Maybe that's your strategy. Okay. Let's go in and look. We had some scans. VRT is one that got a cross up. You can't see the entry here. Again, normally on the charts, you'll see an exit and entry. I have Trendspider looking into it. Other people have confirmed it's just a platform thing. They're working with their developers to actually fix it. But VRT is one. MHO is another one. There are several. These will all be in the newsletter. And you may say, well, how do I get the newsletter? Just go over here to Linktree. Okay. dailystockpick.substack.com. The newsletter is absolutely free. Absolutely free. Okay. Right here. You can go to yesterday's post. And at the bottom of every newsletter, just so you're aware, it is all my notes. Everything that you hear in the podcast, these are the cliff notes. For all you OG users who are over 50 years of age, these are the cliff notes. And if you don't know what cliff notes are, go and ask ChatGPT or something. It's before computers were around. You had cliff notes. But I include all the strategies, everything. But when you get down to the bottom here, Okay, scans. These are scans that I go into Trendspider every morning and I look at watch lists, all the watch lists that I've created. I look at the core portfolio to try and see which ones do. I do the Dow, NASDAQ, and the S&P 100. Okay, I'm a large cap tech investor, so I don't go into the small caps. You can use these scans and go into small caps. I also have a personal watch list that I include. That includes Motley Fool names. It includes Alpha Pick names. It includes stocks that are strong in the Seeking Alpha Quant. It includes all of that. So you get all of that in Trendspider without even signing up for Seeking Alpha. But I would urge you, there is a Gary bundle here. Okay, the bundle is, the first one is Trendspider. Obviously, I use Trendspider. I don't know what to do today without those entries and exits on my chart. I can scan and see which ones are in the current 4 hour, but I can't see it on the chart. And so again, I feel naked. And then there's the bundle. And the bundle is Seeking Alpha Premium and Alpha Picks. It's the top two links right here. So that preferred Gary bundle right there is the preferred. Again, if your portfolio is large enough to make that, then use it. If not, what can you use? Well, for Trendspider, I used for years. I used Fidelity Active Trader Pro. I also used Thinkorswim. I used Webush. Webush has a free desktop software that I used. That's very simple to learn and use. Robinhood just launched their platform. I know your brokerage should have a charting program that you can use if you have a quality broker. If you don't have a quality broker, go and get one. Ask me for my Fidelity link. Ask me for use the Webush link. I like Webush. I don't like Robinhood. I just don't trust Robinhood. I just don't. I mean, it's just creepy to me that they pulled the GameStop stuff. So I don't use them. But that's the thing. And if you want just fundamentals, FinViz right here, it's free. For years I used this. For years I used FinViz. I just find Seeking Alpha to be far, far better and far worth the money. Again, if you want the premium, just the premium version is what I had. I didn't have Alpha Picks until I became an affiliate with them. And then I wound up picking and choosing stocks. That didn't work. Again, finding your strategy. My strategy was I'm going to pick and choose. And then in October, I just threw my hands in the air and I said, you know what? Screw it. I was picking stocks that wound up losing and I didn't trust them. And I wound up just buying the entire portfolio. So that's what I mean by finding your strategy. You've got to find a strategy that works. And when it doesn't work, you change direction. And until you find a quality stocks and a great portfolio like I have right now, then, just use VOO and QQQ and start adding in some single stocks and add to your winners and cut your losers. It's not that hard. And if you're making 9% like retail traders, maybe cut back your trading. Cut it back. I always say that, for newer people that ask me, 40% of my portfolio, I don't touch. I mean, that's Apple. At least 40% of my portfolio, I just don't touch. I don't sell it. I don't buy it. I don't touch it. It's just sitting there. And Apple is my savings account. Now, some people may not like that. Use VOO and QQQ as your savings account. Okay, go and split it up between 40%. 40% of my portfolio I don't touch. For another 40% of my portfolio, I will usually touch within 6 months. 6 months or a quarter. It's longer trades. More than likely, they're staying in a year at least, but I'm trimming or doing something like that. If I start a position, usually it's 6 months minimum that I go. Maybe it's a year to get to long-term capital gains if it's in a portfolio versus a retirement account. So I do things like that. So that's 80% of your portfolio. Then there's 10% that I want to have cash on hand. Okay, 10% I want to have cash on hand, and the other 10% I'm going to trade. Now, that 20% right there, it could go to 0% where I just don't have any cash on hand if we're in a bull market. And guess what? We're in a bull market. I still have a ton of cash, and it's because I sold a bunch just last week. I sold a lot last week. But guess what? This is a bull market. Okay, we're in a bull market until we're not. And right there at the 9-day, we're sitting right at the 9-day right now. The 9 days around 513. We're at 516 on the Qs. Where's VOO? We can go and look at VOO. Again, a weekly chart of VOO shows us, look at that nice little weakness. That's a buying opportunity. And look at the weekly. You're right below the 9-day. Okay. Am I buying at this point? Probably not. I mean, I'm waiting to see what January does. But if it's long-term, 3 to 5 years, I'm absolutely buying if I've got more than 10% of my cash on hand. And I'm just dollar costing it. You know, you're not going balls deep on the first pump. Don't do it. Just don't do it. So, again, get Trendspider. It is on sale for the next 15 hours. If you have any questions, again, hit me up on Linktree. People have found my email address and say, how do I sign up for the newsletter? You sign up right down below. So, okay, take care. Happy New Year to everybody.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.